Victoria's testimony, section 3B, take 3, 2.
When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nun because that's the only thing I knew how to love the Lord. And then as I grew up, I got married, I had my son, and got divorced. And then when I was about 29 years old, I had a friend that always was very feisty and like that, reading tarot cards and things like that. And I will always call her because I was depressed. And she was my best friend. And one day she changed completely and she started telling me about the love of Jesus and you need to come with me to church. I was like, no. So she told me so much that I say, okay, I'm gonna go, so you leave me alone and never gonna go again. Don't tell me again. So I came to the church and I couldn't find her, so I just came into the worship. And the Lord just came and met me in such a way. The liquid love of God came and overwhelmed me, overtake me. He came and sealed me, baptized me, encountered me in such a way with His love, with His Spirit, that from that day, I couldn't stop going to church. You couldn't take me from that day, you could not take me out. I became addicted to the presence of the Lord. I became addicted to the voice of God and not no more to the counterfeit of tarot things and all of those things. The voice of God made me His Spirit made me His. From that day, I became radically touched by the Lord. I had a boyfriend and he said he didn't want Jesus, so I say, sorry, I don't want you either. I never went into tarot things, never went into any of those things. I was working in a restaurant bar and all of my regulars became Christians, knew the Lord, not because I wanted to show them religion, but because the love of God was so deep in me that I cannot help but share the love of Jesus with others. Everybody became a believer in that moment. The Lord showed me and gave me such a desire not to be there. I would go there and wanted to go out of there immediately. So the Lord showed me a real estate office. I went there, I passed the test, and I became a real estate and left everything. The Lord took me out of darkness into His marvelous light. And it was such a change in my life. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have messed up, but the Lord lifted me up with His grace and His love, and always picks me up and turn it around for my good. One day I want to tell you about, I don't know if in the spirit or in the flesh, but I went up to heaven and the Lord showed me rooms of crowns and mantles and swords. But then He took me up into what it looks, my room. And it was beautiful, full of beautiful things, and it was all about me. And Jesus was telling me, I know everything about you. I know everything. I know who you are. And He said, look at yourself in the mirror. And it was terrifying because I looked completely deformed. But then He says, look at me, because that's not who you are. And look at me, look at yourself in my eyes. And as I look in the reflection of the eyes of Jesus, I just smell, because I only not just saw my reflection, but I felt the love of the Lord, how He loves me, how He values me, how He sees me, and everything else fall off of me, because who He made me to be, I started becoming as I look into His eyes. And I invite you today that if you want to know who you are, come and know the Lord. My life verse is John 17:3, that this is eternal life, that they may know you, God, and Jesus Christ, who you have sent. I invite you, come know Him, experience Him, talk to Him, hear Him speak to you. Look at yourself in the reflection of His eyes, and you will become the original, the perfect son or daughter of God that He made you to be. I hope you're blessed with the love of the Lord.